Everybody, let's get started. गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पतान शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् ॐ प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनाम विक्त्रवत् ॐ गणेशाय नमः ॐ सरस्वत्यै नमः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये वागीशाद्या सुमनसः सर्वार्थानामुपक्रमे यं नत्वा कृतकृत्या स्युः तं नमामि गजाननं वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय कोटिसूर्यसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारंभं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारंभं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। ओम शन्नो मित्रशं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमां शन्न इंद्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम्। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। ओम भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इंद्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्ददातु। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शंकराचार्य मध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वदी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। नमोस्तु ते व्यास विशाल बुद्धे पुल्लारविन्दायत पत्र नेत्र येन त्वया भारत तैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमय प्रदीपः श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्य केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवत् व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं यस्य सन्निधिमात्रेण सर्वे शिष्याश्च सेवकाः कर्मक्षेत्रे प्रवर्तन्ते चिन्मयं तं नमाम्यहम् चिन्मयं तं नमाम्यहम् चिन्मयं तं नमाम्यहम्। Welcome back, everybody. Looks like there is some sort of loose connection with my mouse. So we were trying to complete the text today. The last two verses are remaining. What we will do is we will recap with the 27th shloka onwards that we had started. If you are following in the book, Geyam Gita Nama Sahasram, that is the shloka. We will start that. Geyam Gita, let me put the slide up. Geyam Gita Nama Sahasram Dhyeyam Rupati Jeyam Shripati Rupamajasram Neyam Sajjana Sange Chittam Deyam Dina Janaya Chavittam. So in this verse, Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji gave a simple summary meaning of the four aspects of the sadhana. Deyam, Geyam Gita, regularly recite from the Bhagavad Gita. Deyam, Shripati Rupam Ajasram, meditate on that Lord Vishnu, husband of goddess of wealth, Sri Lakshmi Devi, in your heart. Nama Sahasram, chant his 1,000 glorious names, like Vishnu Sahasranama. And then Neyam Sajjana Sange, be in the company of good people. Put your mind, chittam, and heart, take delight to be with noble and holy people in association of the good. And the last one was Deyam Dina Janaya. What? Vittam, money, wealth, distribute your wealth in charity to the poor and the needy. Dhanam. So we said this was the concluding verse of the Chaturdasha Manjarika Stotram, composed by his disciples, Shishyas, and this was attributed to Acharya Sumati. And I also mentioned last week that these last few stanzas have a specific theme. When an individual performs these type of meritorious actions, he accumulates what? Punya, meritorious results. What this does is, it reduces the effects of the papa karma we might have done. It gives us strength, it gives us immunity from dushkarma that we might have committed in the past, papa karmas we might have committed in the past. So, we also saw some dhyana shlokas of Bhagavad Gita, Vishnu Sahasranama, Lalita Sahasranama. So, if you get a chance, please watch it again. So, fourfold sadhanas were prescribed in this verse. Study of the sacred text, or start with Bhagavad Gita. The goal when you study Bhagavad Gita, what happens? It tells you what is the goal in your life and how to get there. Then, worshipping of Bhagavan Narayana. And I mentioned our Puja Guruji, Swami Tejomayananji, used to say, an altar in your life alters your life. Very important. Number 3 is Satsanga, company of the good. We have elaborately discussed this before, keeping the company of the good, keeping the company of cultured people. They will inspire us every moment. Then, Dhanam, sharing what one has with those who are in need. Jana Seva, Janardana Seva. When I engage myself with this kind of a schedule during the day, there is no other time for any other nonsense in life. Achara, Vichara, good conduct in life and continuing with the inquiry. With that, this next verse that we had covered was Sukatah kriyate Rama bhogah paschadanta sharire rogah yadyapi loke maranam sharanam tadapi na munchati papacharanam tadapi na munchati papacharanam. I apologize for this technical difficulty today. Sukatah kriyate Rama bhogaha. Basically, sexual enjoyment with women. Paschad antah sharire rogaha. There comes diseases of the body at the end. The mind also starts to seek and more of these carnal pleasure that Gurudev called it. And Kathopanishad quote also I gave, Sarvendriyanam jarayanti tejaha. It drains our vitality, drains our energy. Tadapi, even then, Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji says, na munchati papa acharanam. Nobody is giving up this sinful behavior. See, in the previous shloka, it talked about dharma. And this one is talking about kama. I clarified that. And kama is like the top-seeded player, like I told you. Prathama Malla Nibharana Nyaya. Prathama Malla, he is like the top-seeded player. So this kama, if that is defeated, when we say kama, it is desire and objects of desire. When we conquer that, Prathama Malla, then we would have defeated all others, like Krodha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. All are expressions of kama. If desire is not fulfilled, we know it becomes Krodha, angry, I get angry. If my neighbors get it instead of me getting it, I am jealous, Matsarya. Like that, Yadyapi loke maranam sharanam. In the world, death is maranam. Maranam sharanam is considered the ultimate end. Tadapina munchati papa acharanam. Even then, our sinful behavior will not end. See, I need to have guidance from the scriptures. Viveka, that discrimination, not to indulge in sense pleasures. I need to do that Shreya Preya Viveka, the path of the pleasant versus the path of the good. The path of the pleasant, although it seems pleasurable in the beginning, we know that it is painful at the end. So, this shloka was driving us to avoid our common human weakness and make the right choice. Let's go to the next one. Once again, I'm just recapping this. Artamanartam bhavaya nityam nasti tata sukalesha satyam putradapi dana bhajam bhitihi sarvatraisha vihita ritihi. Now, in this shloka, the previous ones talked about dharma and kama. Now, this one is about artha. Artham anartham nityam bhavaya. Reflect on it constantly, that what artham is anartham. I already told you, artha has different meaning. Artha means wealth. Artha also means meaning. Artha means goal. That purushartha is calamitous. It is meaningless. It is not your goal. This is the instruction. It is anartha. Why? Sukha leshaha nasti. Not even a trace of happiness comes out of it. Why? Even putradapi dhana bhajam bhitihi. This is always the case for the rich. There is fear from that wealth that their own son or partners will take that over. Our Puja Gurudev used to say, when you possess money and employ it in the service of others, it's a blessing. When money possesses you, it's a curse, he would say. Nasti sukha leshaha. There is not even a trace of comfort. That is what Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji is saying. We have discussed this elaborately even in shloka number 2. Muda jahihi dhanagama trishnam kuru sadbuddhim manasi vitrishnam yallabase nija karmopattam vittam tena vinodaya chittam. So with that, we will start today's session. And let me share. I'm having a little trouble with the mouse here. Next shloka, number 30. Pranayamam pratyaharam nitya viveka vicharam. Pranayamam pratyaharam nitya viveka vicharam. Japya sameta samadhi vidhanam. Japya sameta samadhi vidhanam. Kurvavadhanam mahadavadhanam. Together. Pranayamam pratyaharam nitya viveka vicharam. Japya sameta samadhi vidhanam kurvavadhanam mahadavadhanam. See, as a part of our overall personality development, in shloka number 27, there were suggested sadhanas. That was to study Bhagavad Gita, worshipping of the Lord through puja, satsanga, keeping the company of the good, sharing what we have with the needy, dhanam, all these were suggested. In Vedanta, we call these external exercises as Bahiranga Sadhana. Now, here in this verse, a series of internal exercises, inner exercises are suggested. We call them in Vedanta as Antaranga Sadhana, Pranayamam. Many quickly translate this as breath control. See, as students of Vedanta, it is important to know that it is a part of the Ashtanga Yoga, Yoga Darshana. Those who studied Upadesha Sara with me previously know that from Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi's text, we know that this is a part of Ashtanga Yoga, 8 limbs of yoga. Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji in this shloka has given 2 of them, Pranayama, Pratyahara. Okay, let me recap that for the benefit of those who are not there, and a refresher for those who were there. Ashtanga Yoga was, who is the proponent? Patanjali Maharshi is the proponent of Yoga Darshana, also known as Yoga, Raja Yoga, all this. And the 8 limbs starts with Yama, to enrich our lives, harmonize our interpersonal relations, etc. Yama has 5 limbs. Ahimsa, non-injury; Satya, truthfulness; Asteya, non-stealing; Brahmacharya, continence, celibacy; Aparigraha, non-hoarding. These 5 are part of Yama. Then Niyama. Niyama is Shaucha, not just taking a bath every day or taking a shower, outer cleanliness; inner purity. Santosha, contentment; Tapaha, austerity, Vrata, etc. Swadhyaya, study of scriptures regularly; Ishvara, Pranidhana. These are part of the Niyama. Then Asana. Everybody is familiar with Yogasana, practice of postures to keep the body fit and healthy. Then comes Pranayama. So when they suggest Pranayama Pratyahara, means these are a part of this Ashtanga Yoga that he is prescribing, that breath control to enable the mind to become pure and subtle. Pratyahara, to withdraw the senses at will, to make the mind single-pointed, steadfast, strong. Then Dharana, bring the mind into focus, practice concentration. Dhyana, meditation, to maintain a steady flow of thoughts for the mind. Then comes Samadhi, total Chitta Vritti Nirodha, total cessation of thoughts. Then you have Savikalpa Samadhi, Nirvikalpa Samadhi. In that there are 2 types. But Asana, Pranayama are very popular forms of Yoga Abhyasa. A lot of people are not interested in puja, japa, etc., but they are mostly interested in yoga. That's why Ramana Maharshi in Upadesha Sara, he said, Vayurodanat liyate manaha jalapakshiva troda sadhanam. In this shloka, Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi is explaining the usage of pranayama as a technique to control the mind. See, we know pranas are the physiological function. There are 5 vayu vikaras, modifications of our prana. We know that. Prana, apana, udana, samana, vyana. Right? controlling inhalation, exhalation, apana controls the evacuation and rejection from the body. Udana, all reverse process like vomiting, burping, sneezing, etc. Right? One important aspect of prana is that they function quietly from birth to death, even while we are asleep. Thank God for that. Hence, there is an emphasis here on pranayama and in yoga. One can control the mind, regulate the heartbeat. All this is prescribed. One key thing here is they work quietly from birth to death. Thank God we don't have to learn how to breathe, digest our food. Imagine with all the junk we eat, if we had to control our digestion, we wouldn't have time for anything else. Thanks to Bhagavan for that. So what Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi here is saying, Vayu Rodanat liyate manaha. Restraining the pranavayu, you can control the mind temporarily. It gets restrained how? Jala pakshivat, like a bird caught in the net. Rodha sadhanam, you can control that mind. Then he goes on to say, Pranabandhanat lina manasam ekachintanat nashametyadaha. Mastering of the pranas, through that you master the mind. Then, like that, he kind of suggests. And the next one in the shloka, Bhagavan Shankaracharya suggests is pratyahara. Pratyahara. Ahara. Ahara means food. Pratyahara means controlling the intake of the food. What goes through stula sharira, sukshma sharira also. Gross body and subtle body, mind you. Not only food intake as mithya ahara, watch what we eat. In fact, Chandogya Upanishad says, ahara shuddhau sattva shuddhihi. Sattva shuddhau dhruva smritihi. By purity of food, you do antahkarana shuddhi. It is not just physical food here. Ahara means the total intake through our senses. Shabda, sparsha, rupa, rasa, gandha. So, pratyahara means not only controlling what we eat, but also not allowing too many objects to enter our senses. Too much intake does what? Too many thoughts. That creates agitations in our mind. This will lead to shama, dhamma, controlling of the senses, etc. That's the idea. How do we do that? Nitya, anitya, viveka, vicharam. Let's analyze what it means. Increasing our viveka shakti, our discriminating power, by constantly contemplating on, inquiring on nitya, anitya. What is real? What is unreal? What is permanent? What is temporary? According to Vedanta, Atma Satyam Tad Anyat Sarvam Mithya Iti. This is Tattva Viveka. This is Nitya Anitya Viveka, meaning except for Brahman or Atman, everything else is illusory. When we do this type of inquiry, Our Vivek Shakti is always Jagrat, it's always alert. Then as a byproduct of that, Viveka, Vairagya kicks in, which allows us to reject those that are temporary, those that are impermanent, those that are ephemeral. And what it does, it gives us the ability to do more and more of satsang, which gives us more and more of viveka. So prana bandhanat lina manasam, control of intake. Then it leads to mind control. Then leads to nitya anitya viveka. When we study a text called Yoga Vasishtha, Agastya Muni in that teaches Bhagavan Sri Ramachandra. It is called Saptagnana Bhumika. 7 stages to the spiritual unfoldment. In that, the 3rd step after Vicharana, inquiry, is Tanu Manasa. This is called the attenuation of our mind, thinning of the mind. How like the August or the autumn sky, how clear the sky is, small cloud, like that our mind should become. The seeker gets very strong dispassion at this time, after Vicharana and Shubhecha. At this stage, the mind does not throw up or bother the seeker anymore on the spiritual path. Therefore, here the Acharya says, Japya Sameta Samadhi Vidhanam. Japa. Through these sadhanas, the mind is ready for meditation. It is calm. The seeker gains after that dharana, the concentration of the mind. From dharana, it leads to dhyana. Starting with Saguna Sakara Dhyana, with form, meditating on the Lord with form, leading to Nirguna Nirakara Dhyana, leading to Samadhi, Samahita Buddhi. Then Shankaracharya ji in the verse lovingly says, Kurvavadhanam Mahadavadhanam. Avadhanam kuru. Perform all these with care. Carefully. Maha avadhanam kuru. Perform with great care. Be persistent. Not just New Year resolution that will usually last 1 week. Be consistent. Be persistent. All right. With that, we will come to the final shloka of this text, where deep devotion to the Guru is emphasized. This shloka, we call it Palashruti, the Prayojana. What is the result of all this study? All our sadhana. I'll try to share the last shloka. Guru Charanambuja Nirbhara Bhaktah. Guru Charanambuja Nirbhara Bhaktah. Samsarad Chirad Bhava Muktah. Samsarad Chirad Bhava Muktah. Sendriya Manasa Niyamadevam. Sendriya Manasa Niyamadevam. Drakshyasi Nija Hrudayastham Devam. Drakshyasi Nija Hrudayastham Devam. Guru Charanambuja Nirbhara Bhaktaha. Together. Guru Charanambuja Nirbhara Bhaktaha Samsarada Chirahadbhava Muktaha. Sendriya Manasa Niyamadevam. Drakshyasi Nija Hrudayastam Devam. Drakshyasi Nija Hrudayastam Devam. Here, in this shloka, the emphasis is on the faith and devotion to the Guru. We have already seen the definition of faith, Shraddha, conviction. In what? In the Guru and Shastra. Pramana Buddhi is what we call this faith. Saint Augustine says regarding faith, we have seen this quote, and I quote, faith is to believe what you do not see, and as a result of which, the reward of this faith is to see what you believe. What a beautiful statement. So the most simple and popular definition of Guru is the one who dispels ignorance. Gu means ignorance. Ru means one who dispels it, one who removes it. According to Shankaracharya ji in Upadesha Sahasri, Guru bestows this self-knowledge to the fit student, Uttama Adhikari. Who is the fit student of this type of study? Adhikari, we say, for the study of Vedanta, the one who is sadhana chatushtaya sampanna. The one who is bestowed with fourfold qualifications: Viveka, Vairagya, Shama Adi Shatka Sampatti, Mumukshutvam. Remember the 4 Ds of Vedanta: discrimination or Viveka, dispassion or Vairagya, 6 disciplines of Shama, Dama, Uparati, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhana, and a burning desire for liberation, Mumukshutva. That fit student then traditionally approaches a qualified teacher. Mundaka Upanishad says, Parikshya lokan karmachitan brahmanaha nirvedamaya nyasya krutakrutena tadvignanartam sa gurumeva bhigachet samitpani shrotriyam brahmanishtam. This is the student who has examined the world, rejected the world, understood its impermanence, that it is dissatisfaction guaranteed, approaches a qualified guru, who is what? Qualified like Shrotriya Brahmanishta. How does he approach him? By taking the Samit Pani, the sacrificial faggots for his yajna, etc., approaches him, those with that kind of bhakti, devotion to the Guru, nirbhara bhakti, Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji calls it, to what? To Guru Charana Ambuja, to the lotus feet of the Guru. See, when you go to the Gurukula, like we did in Sandipani, and stay with the Guru, remain in the service of the Guru. So the Samit Pani here represents that Seva Bhava of the student to the Guru, the attitude of service to the Guru. Similarly, in Bhagavad Gita, when you study, it says, Tadvidya pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. Inquiring with the master by serving him. Sevaya means that with that attitude of humility. Then only the knowledge can flow from the higher to the lower. Just like water always flows from the higher plane to the lower plane. It never goes upstream. That is why we give such importance to the Guru Shishya Sambandha in our tradition. Samsarat achirad bhava muktaha. Achirad. Soon you quickly will become bhava muktaha. You become liberated. See, chira means it takes a long time. Achirad means quickly. The students become students of this text and this path will become liberated from what? Samsaranam. The principles of change. The cycle of change. The cycle of life, birth, and death. See, when Sant Kabir Das was asked as to who he would prostrate to, if God and Guru were come together, he quickly replied that he would offer his prostrations to the Guru, because he came to realize he came to recognize the Lord only because of the revelation of the Guru. That's why we say Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. See, that is why in our tradition, learning Shastra through a qualified Guru is emphasized. A lot of us think what? By CDs, I can watch YouTube later, any other media, they can learn. Some even ask, how do we know he is not a fake Guru? This is a very common question. For that, our Pujya Guruji, Swami Tejomayananji, has a very clever answer, quick answer. If your intentions are fake, you will get a fake Guru. But if your intentions are sincere, it is the job of Bhagavan to provide you with a qualified Guru. In fact, we don't need to go Guru hunting. The Guru will find you, he says. What a beautiful assurance. Guru Charana Ambuja Nirbhara Bhaktaha. I need to be humble. I need to devotedly follow the guidance of the Guru. Say, Indriya Manasa Niyamat. Through the discipline of the Indriyas, sense organs, Manasa, mind. Meaning, leading a very disciplined life with Yama, Niyama, following a good lifestyle of what? Achara, Vichara. What happens then? Drakshasi Nija Hrudayam Devam. What a beautiful statement. Drakshasi. You will see God, you will experience Him. Where? Nija Hrudayam. In your own heart. Hrutstale Manaha. In your spiritual heart. That sakshatkara within us. What it means is that I will take teacher's instructions seriously in life and live those values. That is why teacher or padukas, they stand for that platform, for that entire Guru Parampara. That strength of knowledge. So Guru Charana, that platform that provides us that strength of knowledge. Guru Paduka Stotram. When we chant, we say, Shamadhi Shatka Pradavai Bhavabhyam Samadhidana Vrata Dikshitabhyam Ramadhavandre Sthira Bhaktidabhyam Namo Namah Shri Guru Padukabhyam Namo Namah Shri Guru Padukabhyam Kamadi Sarpa Vrajagarudabhyam Viveka Vairagya Nidhi Pradabhyam Bodha Pradabhyam Drutamokshadabhyam Bodha Pradabhyam Drutamokshadabhyam Namo Namah Shri Guru Padukabhyam Namo Namah Shri Guru Padukabhyam. Drakshasi Nija Hrudayam. Shankaracharya Ji concludes this divine song with his kind blessings. May we all be liberated from this worldly entanglements, experience that Lord who dwells within all of us. See, in this text, Bhaja Govindam, a lot of people think it is a very preliminary text. How much has been given? What I would like to do is, since it is our last class, I would like to just go over some of these shlokas where, see, in the first shloka, when we say Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudamate, that is how to get the right knowledge, avoid worldly distractions, that Bhaja Govindam shloka, that chorus shloka. Then for the immature, childish people who do not think, don't want to think, that is number 7. Balastavat krida saktah, tarunastavat taruni saktah, vruddhastavat chinta saktah, parame brahmani kopina saktah. number 7. Before I go with this analysis, I also want to say, remember how this started. He was going in Kashi. Remember that first introductory thing I gave you, along with his Shishya Parampara. This old man was chanting Dukrunkarane, Dukrunkarane, the Dhatu Pata. So he ends, in some texts you will find this shloka, Mudaha kaschana vayyakaranaha Dukrunkarane Adhyayana Durinaha Srimad Shankara Bhagavat Shishyaihi Bodhita Asi Chodita Karanaha. So that man, old man, he realized at the age of 87. So money and power, coming back to our shlokas, number 2, 5, 11 and 29. Number 2 is Mudajahihi Dhanagama Trishna. Number 5 is Yavadvitto Parjana Saktaha. Number 11 is Makuru Dhanajana Yavana Garvam. Number 29 that we covered today. Artham Anartham Bhavaya Nityam. Then stop focusing on the pleasure. Shlokas 3, 15 and 28 covered those aspects of it. Then the temporary nature of the world, reflecting on life in general, desires. Like number 4, remember that water drop on that lotus leaf. I put that picture out. So that should come to your mind. Nalini Dalagata Atitaralam Tadvad Jivitam Atishaya Chapalam. So that impermanence is described in number 4, number 6 and 12th verse. And guidance to all the sadhakas. How to inquire. Like number 8. Kate Kanta Kaste Putra. Or number 9. Satsangatve Nissangatvam Nissangatve Nirmohatvam Nirmohatve Nischalatatva Nischalatatve Jivan Mukti. That ladder of success, we discussed that elaborately. Then in number 10, number 13, number 20, number 25, shlokas number 26, 27, 30, 31. All those were guidance to seekers. How to think, how to do vichara. And practices that are not of the right kind also were pointed out in number 14, number 16, number 17. And man of realization, how he behaves in the world. Like number 18, Suramandira Taru Mula Nivasaha. Remember that shloka. Or number 19, very popular one, Yogaratova, Bhogaratova, Sangaratova, Sangavihinaha. Right? That one. Then number 22, Ratya Charpata, Virachita Kantaha. So they say, just to give you an idea how to kind of navigate through this text when you revise or refresh your memory on, they say that it is just a preliminary text. But so many advanced ideas of Vedanta are given in this itself. In a what? In a very simplified way. In a very poetic way. I want to thank all of you who are attending this very regularly. My humble pranams to all of you for providing me with this opportunity to share what I have studied and learned. We completed our study in 18 sessions. 18 is a very auspicious number in our tradition, like 18 Mahapuranas, 18 Adhyayas in Bhagavad Gita, etc., etc. I've already told you that. So our next text will be Atma Bodha. If you require this text, you contact or send a private mail and I will make a point person that you can all collect it from locally. We will study that text, and that is also a reinforcement of all the ideas that we have already started with this text and the previous one. So with that, I will open it up for Q&A and our discussion session. And Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Mrutyorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you, everyone. Now I'll open it up.